Hello, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and this is episode 31 of my Billionaire Minecraft series, where I will collect 1 billion iron ingots, gold ingots, diamonds, and emeralds using the All the Mod 6 mod pack in modded Minecraft 1.16. In today's episode, I'm going to do some small various projects around my main base here, so let's get started. So the first thing I want to do is I want to set up an automatic cyanite reprocessing system, and that is going to be for the mod bigger reactors, and that will be so that I can produce some better power generation pretty soon. So let's get started with that, and to do that I need a machine called the Cyanide reprocessor. And where I want to set this up is the basement of my workshop here. So let's go down here and let's come over here, and I want to set it up somewhere over here. What else do I want to set up here? So I also want to set up another system over here. So let's go ahead and put it right here. So first off, actually let's put it on the cyanide reprocessor, and let's put it, let's say right here. And this needs water and it needs energy. So let's figure out where I need to get the energy from. So if I look over here, I do have energy stuff over there. So it looks like that might be the best way to do this. So I'm going to run my energy conduit underneath here. And let's just run it straight over. I think that should work just fine. And I'm going to actually have to go under this torch, but that's fine. Also, between episodes, I moved my energetic infuser from my old base to this right here, yeah, so that I didn't have to keep jumping back and forth from my other base to actually charge some of my items here. So let's go ahead and run this conduit here, and we'll just run it like so. So I'm going to put a sink right here, and I don't think it will automatically accept the water, so I'm actually going to have to move this sink over. And let's put it right there. And I'm going to use a basic mechanical pipe right here with a configurator to get water into the machine, and looks like that worked out just fine. So now I need to get the cyanide into the cyanide reprocessor, and then this will produce, I believe, plutonium. So I need to get the plutonium out and back into my ME system as well, and that's where the export bus and the import bus will come in. So let's go ahead and set up the export bus on top. Hopefully I'll be able to use the top side to export and the side to import from. I actually haven't built this machine in a while, so I'm not 100% sure if that will actually work. But I need to hook this up to my ME system, and to do that I'm going to connect up right here. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get rid of that for the time being, just so that I can actually make this look neat by using facades. So let's go ahead and facade that up right there and facade it up here. And then I can go ahead and connect this back up to my main ME controller, which is right over there. So let's go ahead and run this over. I'm actually going to replace this right here with a dense cable. I'm not sure if I will ever need any more channels over here other than the, 2 or 3 I'm going to be using here in a second. But I might as well set it up so that it does have access to them. So I'm going to set this up to export the cyanide ingots into right here. So in the past, this actually was bugged to where it would keep accepting cyanide ingots even though it couldn't actually keep accepting them. So what I mean is that even though this was already full, it would keep sending it cyanide ingots. So let me make sure that that is not happening. So it does look like that is fixed. That was probably a pretty early iteration of this mod in 1.16. So that's cool that that's fixed. Let's go ahead and make things look neat real fast, and let's, yeah, that won't take but just a second here. And the next thing I want to do is, I think I want to set up an automatic production of steel. So steel is a little bit, just a little bit complicated to make in this mod pack. So to get steel ingots, the best way that I know of is by using Mekanism here. And let me show the entire process. So that's the last process there. Oh, sorry. I actually need to figure out how to make the steel dust. So to make steel dust, you send enriched iron through a metallurgic infuser with coal, or with carbon rather. And I typically use coal for that. And to get the enriched iron, you send iron ingots through a metallurgic infuser with carbon. So what I want to do now is let's go and grab all of that stuff. I have it already made, and it's right over here in this chest right here. So let's grab this stuff. It's all of this stuff over here. And actually I can just shift click. So let's run back over here and start setting this up. So I will need more energy, so I'm actually a little bit low on energy cables, but that's okay. So I think the system, I'm going to have a metallurgic infuser right here, another one right here, and then a redstone furnace, which will furnace the steel dust into steel ingots. So actually, I wanted this to be on, I think I want it to be on demand. Yeah, I want this to be on demand, so I'm actually going to have to change this up slightly. I do need an ME interface for that. And there are a lot of different ways that you could actually program an ME system to be able to do this, but I'm going to do it in kind of my own way here. So let's do the ME interface on top here of this first metallurgic infuser, and I do need an export bus right here, and I'm gonna actually need 2 more export buses. So let's grab those, and I'm gonna need coal, and I already have coal. So what we're gonna do here is I'm going to export coal, but first I need to do the sightedness here. Let's blank everything out. So I'm going to do input from the top. I'm going to do the extra to the left, and then we're going to auto output to the right, and this is going to be auto eject on. So let's go ahead and tell this to export coal, and that should be going to the extra slot. So this metallurgic infuser will always have carbon over here, basically, is how I'm setting this up. And the top side is going to be input, and that'll be where I'm going to input the iron later on. So right here, we're going to place down the second metallurgic infuser, and on this one, on the top side, we need to have the extra, and on the left side, we're going to have the input. On the right side, I'm going to have output, and it will be auto eject on as well. So on this top side, we need to once again export carbon, or coal rather, and so we can do that by setting it up like this, and that should work fine. And let's see if this is working, and it is, so that's cool. So lastly, we're going to have a redstone furnace right here. It's going to be set up just to be input from the left, output to the right. I do need auto output enabled. Actually, I don't think I do, because I'm just going to have an import bus here. So let me grab an import bus and put it right there. I'm actually 100% sure I do not need auto output on, but I don't really need to change it. So what's going to happen is I'm going to tell the system that 1 iron, if you throw an iron in here, it will eventually become steel. I do need to give all of these machines power, so let's do that real fast. And I actually didn't need to take out that much, because I'm going to run my conduit like this. So let's go ahead and cover this back up and make sure that this is actually going to work. So yes, so I will just give this metallurgic infuser iron, and it will come out as steel. So that's a pretty simple little automation here. And so I just need to set the pattern for that, and then we can get that off and running. So let's do that real fast. It's just, like I said, iron equals steel is going to be the pattern that we're going to set. So let's actually get rid of that. That's for something in the near future, hopefully. So our pattern is iron ingot equals steel ingot. And this is actually maybe the first automation I've set up in this particular series that uses, nope, I set up my dissolution chambers. So it should be this one right here. And so let's see if this is going to work. So the way to test this is just to simply come over here. I need to pull out the iron that I already had in there, which is a decent amount. Let's go ahead and get rid of some stuff that we don't need. I might need this later. I'm not 100% sure. I definitely don't need the cyanite. I shouldn't need the iron or coal anymore. I might need this stuff as well. So let's see here. Is this empty? Okay, so let's tell it to make some steel ingots, and I realized that I already had it there. Let's tell it to make 100 steel ingots. It should be able to do that easy peasy. So let's see here. Okay, the process has begun, and it should be able to pretty easily carry out. So that is done, and that's going to be pretty useful, because having steel easily made is pretty useful. So the next thing I want to do is I want to set up a storage facility for some items. So if you'll notice, I do have lots of certain items, particularly things from my Woot mob factory, such as rotten flesh, coal from, I think, zombies. yeah, I'm getting coal from somewhere anyways. Gunpowder from creepers, so on and so forth, ender pearls. There are several things here that I have lots of things in my system, and I don't really have anywhere to put them other than in these cells. And these cells are great for storing things, but they're not great for storing like hundreds of thousands of things. And for that, I'm going to use Supreme Black Hole units. So let's grab some Supreme Black Hole units. And I'm not sure how many I want to set up today. Let's grab 16 for right now. That seems like a pretty good number. And then I'm going to grab some export buses. I'm going to grab, actually I want to do 16. Let's grab a bunch of acceleration cards, and actually 64 is the perfect amount because that's 16 times 4. And I also want to grab some storage buses, which would be 16. I think I'm going to use different colored cable than that, but let me double check here. I might be using white. I can't remember if I'm using white or blue. So I'm just going to grab a bunch of both. And I have a bunch of both made. So where I'm going to set this up is this new building right here, which its purpose will be primarily made in the next few episodes maybe. So I do want to do blue, I think, because the pattern I'm going to have for the dense covered cables coming out of my controller is probably going to be white, blue, maybe purple, and then blue, white, and then we can do blue again. So let's do blue, and I actually want to use a smart cable here just to see how many channels I have should I actually uncover this, because I'm going to use some facades here. I like my things to look nice, even though I'm not particularly great builder at things, making them look nice. So what I want to do is let's just carry this across the top of the room right here. And let's set up some Supreme Black Hole units to store things. And I'm just going to do that down here. So there's the middle. Let's go ahead. Actually, that's perfect because that's 8. And you can only carry 8 channels on the regular tier of the covered cable here. They can only have 8 channels, and you can't put like storage buses and things on the dense cables. So this is going to work just perfect. What I'm going to do right now is let's stone this up because I don't need access to that. And I need to figure out what things I actually want to export to these things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out a system kind of like this. And there we go. And I'm actually going to use an export bus at first, and then I'm going to switch those export buses to storage buses so that my ME system has access to everything I'm about to set up. So let's get rid of everything that I don't need for right now. And let me figure out what 16 items I should be putting in these Supreme Black Hole units. What items do I have the most of? So obviously rotten flesh. I already have a Supreme Black Hole unit for cobblestone. Let's do coal, gunpowder, infernium. I have one for redstone. I have one for gravel, fluorite, ender pearls, lapis. I already have one for stone bricks, sand. Let's do blaze rods. So that's 8. I have one for those. Let's do white wool. Nether quartz. I have one for glass. I actually have 2 for glass at the moment. Let's do the certuses. Obviously iron. Zombie heads, which that's kind of a random one. And then let's do copper and tin. In the future we'll do more, but for right now this is a pretty good starting point. So let's go ahead and plop down all of the export buses. And I'm holding shift right now to do that just to make it easier. And then let's start back over here. And let's do them kind of in order here. And then after I set up the export buses, I need to give them acceleration cards to make them faster. Okay, so got half of them done. And as we can see, the items are already flowing, so everything seems to be hooked up all right. And I just tried to double that one. In fact, I will definitely move the iron one at some point to a better location. Actually, take that back. I already have one for copper, and I already have one for tin as well. They're in the automatic processing area. I'm not sure if I have one for iron or not. And in fact, I probably do. So anything I have automatically processing right now, so like the ingots, they already have areas. So let's do arrows. Let's not do iron right now. So let's move this one. And okay, so I have zombie heads. I'm going to move that one as well. And temporarily, I'm just going to set these spare black hole units over here. And I need to figure out what I need to grab. So I'm going to do... I already have the zombie heads, so let's do arrows, bones, and molten cores, I think will work. And let's grab a couple more supreme black hole units. Okay, so this one was already used, but it does appear to be empty, so I might as well use it. I think I only actually need one. So let's get rid of the things that, yeah. Nope, I want that back. I want this back. Give it back. Okay, so it did give it back. It's just being weird. Sometimes the GUI is kind of weird. So let's do bones here. Let's do arrows, and let's do molten cores. So all this stuff is emptying out of my ME system here. So let's go ahead and do the acceleration cards. And as you can see, yeah, they help export things a lot faster. I think with no acceleration cards, it does one at a time. With one acceleration card, I think it does 8, and then I think that actually looks like half a stack. And actually, that last one might not make a difference at all, to be honest. I'm not 100% sure because it kind of looks like to me it was already doing a full stack when you had 3 in there. But whatever, I have plenty of these things. Might as well just use them all. If it helps, it helps. If it doesn't, no harm done. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to wait for my ME system to actually empty all of these items into these black hole units. And that's just going to take a little while. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back when everything is in these black hole units so that I can replace those export buses with storage buses. So I've actually decided to change course just a little bit. I'm actually not going to wait on these because I actually have over 200,000 rotten flesh still to be exported. I am going to go ahead and do this side, and then off camera later I will do this side. But what I need to do now is I need to take up this. I just need to grab all of this, and then I'm going to replace those export buses with storage buses. And this allows my ME system to actually access the supreme black hole units beneath. So what we're going to do is I need to hit this twice. I don't know why I have to hit it twice, but it will recognize that there is whatever items are in that inventory, and each one obviously only has one item apiece. So white wool, it will attempt to store white wool here, and I do need to set this to a higher priority than 0 because my main ME drive with those 64K storage cells has a priority of 0. So I want things to come here first, and if they can't come here, they will obviously go to the drives. But we need to do this for all of these guys, so let's do this real quick, and then we can hook them back up to the ME system. And then my ME system will have access to all of this stuff once again, but it will be basically stored in a better spot for it. So if we take a look, say we look up arrows, we see that right now my ME system has access to exactly 0 arrows. Once we hook these up, I should have access to all 22,600 arrows. So once that storage bus comes online, and there it is, we have access to those arrows again. So that's pretty fantastic. And if we grab these arrows, we should have 22.3 or 4. It looks like it just does rounding. If we throw this back in there, they should go back into that supreme black hole unit, which they did. So that's fantastic. There's one more thing I would like to do in today's episode, and that is to set up some more Mekanism automation so that I can make some energy cables from the mod Mekanism easier. So if we take a look at the mod Mekanism and the universal cables that are the energy cables here, to make the ultimate universal cable, for example, you need the previous tier cable, but to make something like the atomic alloy is actually a little bit involved. So we need the reinforced alloy. To make that, we need infused alloy. To make that, we need this enriched diamonds here, and we need this refined obsidian. So let's go ahead and set all of this up. And I'm going to set this up, I think, back here is the best place for it. Let me make sure I have enough channels to do this. Yeah, I should. I definitely am going to need some dense ME cable and some not dense cable as well. So let me grab some of that. So there we go. And let's run this over. And I'm going to have to kind of loop this around the already made loop of energy cable here. But let's figure out where we want to set all this up. So the first one is pretty easy to make the, and actually I need to go back to the recipe. To make this right here, the infused alloy, you need redstone and iron, and that makes the infused alloy. So what we're going to do is I just need to set this up, and I just basically need the metallurgic infuser and an export bus. I don't need anything else. So let's set this up right here. So this will be the first metallurgic infuser, and I need to set up an export bus on it. And let's go ahead and do that from the left side, maybe, yeah. So let's configure the sides here. I need to do yellow on the left because I'm going to be exporting redstone. So let's do that real quick. And then on the top side, I'm going to have the input and output. We do want the auto eject on. And then on the top, I'm going to have this ME interface. So let's go ahead and connect all of this up to the ME system. Actually, I want to use dense cable up here because I'm going to be running this kind of across the back of the room here. And okay, so I have the export bus set up for redstone. Let's throw, and that's already working. So let's throw redstone in there, and let's make sure that this is going to work correctly. So let's grab just a little bit of iron, and I grabbed a full stack, but I just want to grab one iron, and I don't have it hooked up to energy just yet. I should actually grab some conduit here. So there we go. It did dump it into the ME system, it looks like, so that's cool. I think the best way to get energy over here maybe is going to be just to run conduit. And actually, it would have been smarter to run it from like over here. I'm actually going to worry about the energy just a little bit later because I have a few other systems to set up. So let's look at the next tier of the universal cable here, and that requires this reinforced alloy. To make the reinforced alloy, we need this infused alloy. It's going to be the crafting ingredient, and we need this enriched diamond. To get the enriched diamond here, we just send diamond to an enrichment chamber. So that's going to be pretty easy. So let's go ahead and set up the enrichment chamber right here. And yeah, let's build it kind of extending into the room, which is kind of going to be weird, but that's okay. So then we're going to put the metallurgic infuser here. And I think what we need to do is set up the export bus to export the diamonds in the top here. And let's make sure this works real fast. I do need to configure the sides here. So the top is going to be input, sorry. For whatever reason, I'm thinking yellow, and this doesn't have a yellow slot. So the top's going to be input, and the front is going to be output. It is auto eject on, and for this, we need the back to be an input. Actually, we need the back to be extra. Yes, because it's going to be the diamond plates or whatever, the refined diamonds. And then on the top, we are going to have the input and output. And we do need auto eject on. And on the top, we're going to have another ME interface here. And now we just need to connect this up to the ME system like so. Okay, so let's see if we're getting diamonds into here. We are, so that's cool. Let's get rid of the rest of our diamonds for that stack. And let's see if the diamonds come into here. They do. Okay, so we can see it right here. That's cool. And then we just need the, oh, I forget that alloy, what it's called now. The infused alloy here. And let's actually keep one in my inventory. I just want to make sure that this is going to work like it needs to. Okay, it looks good. So the next system is a little more complicated yet. So that is going to be the atomic alloy. And to make the atomic alloy, you need reinforced alloy, which is going to be basically this system built on top of a system to do refined uranium, which to make refined uranium, we need this enrichment chamber. With refined uranium dust, we need, am I going the wrong way here? To make refined uranium dust, you need diamonds. with powdered obsidian, and to get powdered obsidian or obsidian dust, we need an enrichment chamber with obsidian. So that's going to be where we start here, an enrichment chamber with obsidian, and this needs to be input on the top and output to the front with auto eject on, with an export bus set up right here to be obsidian. And I'm actually going to connect this up by dropping this down. And I don't think I'm going to need this right now, so let's get rid of it. And let's see if I'm getting any obsidian. So that's cool. And then after that obsidian, sorry, I'm going to have to toggle through this probably every time. That obsidian will come to a metallurgic infuser with the diamonds. So let's grab the metallurgic infuser, and that'll be right here. And I actually need to enrich those diamonds first. And how I'm going to do that, I think, is I'm going to put the enrichment chamber, or an enrichment chamber, say right here. And okay, so this is going to be, from the back is going to be the primary input. From the right is going to be the extra, and then the front's going to be the main output. So that looks all right. We need to export diamonds into here. So let's do that like so. And we need to configure this one. So it needs to be input on the top and output to the left. We do need auto eject on. And I do need to configure this to be diamonds. Yeah, it won't work otherwise. So let's make sure that this is going to work. That should be the enriched diamond, and that should send it over to the metallurgic infuser. So that's cool. And that's infusing the obsidian. Okay, so that'll make the refined obsidian dust, which needs to be sent to an enrichment chamber here, which we can plop that down right here, and it needs to be input from the back and output to the front with auto eject on. So let's see if we're getting our refined obsidian. We are. So that'll make the refined obsidian item, or enriched obsidian, my bad. And we'll send that to an enrichment chamber. And that'll be, we need to grade everything out real fast. That'll be from the back. That'll be the extra, I believe. So yep, right there. And then on the top, we're going to do the input and output. And we're going to turn auto eject on. Now on the top, we're going to have another ME interface right here. And let's hook this up to the ME system via this right here. Okay, so to automate all this, actually, let's go ahead and hook all this stuff up to energy first, and then I can worry about making the patterns, because the patterns, it's going to be pretty easy. Am I under the last level here? No, I'm not. No, whoops, I did not mean to do that one. And I will need to get under this machine. Okay, so let's grab the energy conduit here and just hook these up to energy in the cleanest way that I can, which is probably not that clean. But it's okay, so let's... I do need that one. I can escape right here, so let's do that. Okay, cool, and now I just need to hook that up to the energy source over here. So it looks like everything is running. Let's go ahead and clean this up and then set some patterns, and then I think that'll be a good place to wrap up the episode. I do want to make sure that all these patterns are going to work. They should. There shouldn't be any issue here. So I need to export iron, infused alloy, and then for this one, the reinforced alloy. So actually, basically, you need the previous tier to make the more current tier. Okay, so the first pattern, really easy. It's going to be iron equals infused alloy. The next one is going to be infused alloy equals reinforced alloy. And then the last one I can't do quite yet because I don't actually have, but it's going to be reinforced alloy equals atomic alloy. I do want to test all these out to make sure that they are going to work once I set them and then put them where they need to be. So let's come down here. Let's throw in one reinforced alloy here, and that should make an atomic alloy if I did everything correct. And we might as well throw the other patterns in here. So there we go. And there we go for that. Let's make sure that these are empty. I might as well go ahead and request them while I'm here. So let me make 11 of these and make 11 of these. Okay, so it looks like it's gonna work. I don't see any issues here. So that's pretty fantastic. Those are automated. I just need to finalize the pattern for the atomic alloy here. So I should have one in my ME system, and it is right here. So let's go finalize that pattern and set it down. So we got to run over to the pattern terminal one last time so we can set this pattern, and that's the wrong terminal. Okay, so actually I should be able to deduct which one to make the atomic alloy. And let's go ahead and tell it to make 2, or let's do 3, and they should show up. And if they show up, I know that everything's working. Okay, so yep, they're showing up. So fantastic. It looks like everything is working as intended. So I think that is a pretty good stopping point for today's episode. So in today's episode, I set up this storage system. I still need to replace these export buses with storage buses, but I can do that between episodes. It's literally the same process that I used over here. And I also set up a few automations over here in my workshop to make steel automatically, or not automatically, but steel on demand. And then I also can make the infused alloy, I can make reinforced alloy and atomic alloy on demand, which that will allow me to automatically make this ultimate universal cable pretty easily. So I can probably come in here and tell it to make 1,000 of these things, and it will go ahead and do it. And I might as well, because I am going to be using plenty of this stuff in the future, might as well go ahead and tell my system to make lots of it. So that is it for today's episode. If you enjoyed today's episode, feel free to drop a like down below. If there's anything I could have done better or differently, just let me know down in the comments below as I try to read all the comments. If you enjoy large-scale automation or automation of any size in modern Minecraft, definitely consider subscribing to my channel because that's typically what I do. Anyways, signing off, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and I will see you next time.